You know, it starts with we've recently finalized a deal with a private equity firm to make an investment in our marketing company, and that's unusual in pro sports. Soccer United Marketing is an unusual company. It's our equivalent of NFL Properties or Major League Baseball Enterprises, but with MLS, Soccer United Marketing owns marketing rights and intellectual property outside of the league, and a very unique opportunity for us to partner with a media private equity firm, help us kind of expand our horizons, perhaps look more globally. We've just launched a channel with YouTube called Kick TV. That's not an MLS channel, it's a soccer channel on the internet. So I think there'll be a lot of unique and interesting media opportunities that come out of this new relationship, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time working on that.
Are media opportunities like foreign TV deals? I know that the domestic TV deals seem to be sewn up now with the NBC deal coming through. What are some of the media opportunities?
Well, you know, in the short term, the best way to describe it is more investment in getting our game, more exposure, taking the players off the field perhaps and showing the kind of great characters that they are, their unique stories, a bit more of a narrative. That requires investment, and that investment's going to come through this new relationship we have.
I would assume David Beckham coming back to the league is an important chip in that too. You know, what does someone like David Beckham bring to this league from a marketing and business perspective?
Well, you know, David's been here for, this will be his 5th year, so think about that. Actually, it's entering his 6th year. So he had a 5-year deal that really transformed Major League Soccer. Took us out of what was viewed, I think, here as a niche sport and gave us exposure throughout the world beyond being a giant pop cultural icon. I mean, he's a really good player. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that is anybody like David. He is that guy that sort of transformed sport for us. But, you know, this year, Robbie Keane, a great Irish player, the captain of Ireland's national team, is playing in Los Angeles. We'll have a full year with Thierry Henry, one of the greatest players in English Premier League history. They just built a statue for him at Arsenal. Rafa Marquez, the captain of the Mexican national team, a guy that not everybody watching your show knows, but this is one of the huge Mexican heroes down south of the border. That's just a handful of guys that kind of give us some star power, balanced with Landon Donovan, the captain of the U.S. national team, and so many other great American players in our league.
So the team has, or the league now has, a very large nationwide footprint. One of the business stories that we were looking at last year was the expansion into a potential 20th team. You know, could you talk to us about where the possibility of a 20th team is?
You know, I think a 20th team's coming. I can't say whether it's tomorrow or the next day, but I think it will happen sometime over the next number of years. Very focused on that team being in New York City, working with the city of New York to try to find some sites that could be suitable for a stadium. We've been working on this project for a while. That's why we talked about it last year. I think we're going to continue to work on it for the next year or two, but I'm pretty confident that we'll end up with a rival for the Red Bulls here in the metropolitan area.
I'd heard some rumblings about potential down in Florida, that some of the cities down in Florida were making a major push. You know, what are your thoughts about that market?
Well, you know, I was late for this interview on the phone with somebody from Miami. Miami is a market that we will continue to look at. Orlando, Florida is another market that's on our radar screen. It's unusual that we are a pro sports league with a national footprint other than the southeast of the United States and really other than the southwest of the United States. So the league's got a lot more growth in front of us. It's still very young, 17th year, entering our 17th year this year. So sometime in your generation, I might be no longer commissioner and somebody else will be doing this annual interview. The league's going to be a lot bigger than it is today.
You know, I saw an interesting ESPN poll the other day that ranked soccer fans for both Major League Soccer and international soccer. And the numbers were pretty even. International soccer had a little bit of a bump. Is that of any concern to you from a business perspective?
Well, you know, the positive aspect of that survey that came out is that the numbers of people that love the game and are following it professionally is exploding far faster than we thought it would when we created our original business plan. Our task is to convert those pro soccer lovers into being committed MLS fans, and the good news is that both groups are growing. I don't view that as competition. I view the overall sport growing as a big objective of ours. Once people love the game, then we can deliver them a way to be a passionate supporter in their home market. Like we had in Portland, where you had 20,000 people standing in the rain, waving flags, singing songs. You can't do that watching the Premier League on television. That doesn't mean we don't want them to be EPL fans, but we want them to get down and really believe in the sport and live the passion that only the beautiful game really can provide.
I've seen some of those clips from the Pacific Northwest, and it makes phenomenal TV, and it doesn't strike me as too difficult to realize that the rating was doubled from last year. Yet ratings for MLS are still a work in progress. You know, what do you have to do with your TV partners to really raise TV ratings?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, this is an evolutionary process. You know, you've got to build the league and get the right teams in the right markets, in the right facilities. You've got to grow attendance. Both of those things we've been able to do effectively. Of late, we've been really growing our commercial market, and now we've got to really focus on television. I don't think that there's a switch you could turn on that says you're going to go from television ratings of X to Y or to Z overnight. It's not just about promotion or schedule. It's about growing the fan base, getting more people to care about your teams and players, having fans understand that being a supporter is not just going to a game, but it's watching a game on television and creating that cultural connection that exists in the NFL and baseball and all the other leagues. And that's something we've got to work on over the next number of years.
You know, we just finished our annual billionaires list, and a lot of your owners were actually on the list, guys like Stan Kroenke, Mr. Kraft, Phil Anschutz. You know, talk to me about the role that those guys have played in helping the league evolve.
So, Fred, great question. The success of Major League Soccer is driven by our board, our ownership group. I think it's amongst the best ownership groups in pro sports anywhere in the world. A bunch of guys that really believe that this country's changing through globalization, through shifting demographics, and that getting in early on an emerging sport will be a great opportunity for their families in time. So whether it's Anschutz or Kraft or Matisich with Red Bull or Hunt, or now Hank Paulson and his family owning the Portland team, Paul Allen and Joe Roth owning our team in Seattle, I mean, this is what's driving Major League Soccer. When we sit around a board meeting and you have the expertise and experience of these people helping us to grow our business, it's empowering and it's really driving our success.
5 years down the road, where do you hope to see the league?
A little bit larger, hopefully with a team in New York, with larger attendance and growing television ratings. 5 years from now, we'll have a new collective bargaining agreement. We'll have new television deals. Both of those agreements expire in 2014. I think those two deals will be transformational for Major League Soccer and help elevate us to an even higher level. So I look forward to it. I mean, it's amazing how close it is on the horizon.